from Channel 7 News. This just in. The United States has been confronted by two countries that could lead to a war on two fronts. First, China is furious with the United States' lack of commitment to pay back the huge national debt. China has recently released a video illustrating its frustration towards U.S. indifference to paying the debt.
Hello, Americans. As of right now, your country owes China $800 billion. This debt has gone on far too long. You have 1 year to pay us back, or else.
On the northern border, Canada is outraged by the recent development in the National Hockey League after the NHL removed the Montreal Canadiens from the league.
The great white nation is shocked and appalled to learn that America has decided to disband our beloved Montreal Canadiens. To be honest, here in Canada, we hold three things dear: hockey, more hockey, and the mullets that every player on the Montreal Canadiens sported with pride. To be honest, you took the Montreal Canadiens. Not only did you take hockey, more hockey, most importantly, you took the mullets. You have 6 months to reassemble this team and bring back to Canada a point of national pride. Or else.
Clearly, tension is rising between the U.S. and these two nations. Another major concern is the development of a highly advanced weapon system. Due to its destructive nature, there has been a worldwide consensus to prohibit its production. However, recent events have led to the horrific possibility of its implementation. There is an obvious crisis facing America. We can only hope this issue is resolved peacefully.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Have you heard of the recent developments?
Yes, I've just heard, and it's my opinion that we need to begin production of these weapons immediately.
Sir, we have well-placed sources in both China and in Canada. Intelligence leads us to believe that neither country has begun production as of yet.
I understand that, but this is a matter of national security. We don't know what either country, China or Canada, is doing right now, and I will not be putting American lives at risk.
Sir, do you know what these weapons are capable of?
Only vaguely.
We have a bomb specialist who will debrief you shortly.
Please, bring him in.
The weapon is known as depicts. It can be launched from several thousand miles away and travels 3 times faster than any previous weapon system, making it nearly impossible to stop. It kills all life forms within a 10-mile blast radius and is extremely accurate. I don't always bomb, but when I do, I prefer 2 seconds. Bomb responsibly, my friends.
Who hired that guy? Deport him?
Deport him. I was unaware of the destructive capabilities of these weapons.
Indeed, sir. We need to avoid a two-front war at all costs.
What are our options?
Well, in a perfect world, neither side would make the weapons, and it'd be in the best interest of both sides. However, if we agree and don't make our weapons, and the other country does, there could be grave consequences for our country. Therefore, it seems like the best option would be to assume they're making weapons and make weapons ourselves.
That makes sense.
However, I do believe Canada is open for negotiation. Should I contact them?
Yes, organize a meeting with Canada immediately.
Yes.
Mr. President, Secretary, it's unfortunate we meet today in these circumstances.
It certainly is unfortunate, and as the President of the United States, I'd like to extend my sincerest apologies to you and to the entire nation of Canada. I believe that this problem has been caused by a severe lack of transparency, and I believe that we can solve it today, here, right now, by some clear and open communication.
I'm listening. I'd like to see this resolved.
As would I. I believe that in the past, the United States and Canada have had great records of diplomacy. There's never been any instances of violence between us, and also, our trade has always been impeccable. We've had no problems with that either.
In addition, neither Canada nor the United States wants to be seen as a country that's hostile and difficult to get along with. It will hurt our relations with other countries internationally down the road.
Agreed. It's not the sort of activity either one of us needs on the record.
In addition, these weapons are extremely dangerous, and they can cause mass destruction to both countries and loss of thousands of innocent lives. I don't see how using this weapon would be in either of our interest.
Canada has taken into consideration the reparations of the use of these weapons. And to be honest, we have certainly come to the conclusion that it would not be in our best interest to ever create such things. However, we will have our Canadians. and we will have our mullets. And unfortunately, we'll be forced to take a stance of reciprocity until our hockey and our mullets are returned. To do so, we will be imposing a very high tariff on all American products. Unfortunate though it is to say, we need our mullets.
We respect your decision. In response, we'd like to offer that we'll reinstate the Canadians in 3 years' time if you agree to certainly not use the weapons and not to imply and to oppose this tariff as you speak of.
Outrageous. The tariff will stand for 3 years unless you reinstate our team. I would as soon see you take my soul.
We've heard your discussion, and we would like to propose an offer. We will have your Montreal Canadiens reinstated within 1 year's time to the NHL.
This is acceptable. It's certainly unfortunate that it's come to this, but I believe it's in our best interest to work this out as peacefully and openly as possible.
I'm glad we've come to an agreement. By the way, if it means anything, I'm a huge hockey fan. Don't you know, eh?
It doesn't mean anything. And you just embarrass your country.
Sir, I'm glad we reached an agreement with Canada.
As am I, but what about China?
I have sources in the country. Unfortunately, though, they are unable still to confirm or deny whether or not China will indeed make the weapons. But frankly, sir, I'm worried.
So am I, Mr. Secretary. As the President of the United States of America, it is my duty to protect the United States citizens from any danger, real or perceived.
I agree. As you know, both our countries' economies are heavily integrated, so I believe that reciprocity may be the only solution. While iteration worked with Canada, history has proven that we have had trouble with communication and transparency with China. Therefore, they could be making the missile under our noses, and we would never know.
Yes, and because of this, it is my official decision to start production of the Trace Appease missile immediately.
Should we contact China?
Yes, but only after production is finished. We need something to leverage with during negotiations. Hello, thank you for coming to the United States to meet with us here today.
Not very happy with you Americans right now.
We understand that, but that's why we're here. We want to solve this problem right now.
Yes, I should hope so.
But before we continue, there's something you should know. We have produced and are ready to use Trace Appease missiles.
Funny you should say so, because I too have a Trace Appease, an armada. All I want to do is take your money. You want some of that? I didn't think so.
I told you you'd defect.
You're right. It's a good thing we prepared.
Yes, a very good thing.
I think we can agree that neither of us wants to engage in worldwide conflict. Not only would both our countries suffer, but there'd be worldwide implications.
This is true, but as of right now, America still owes China $800 billion.
We hear you, and we have a proposition for you. We propose that every year we will pay back 10% of our $800 billion debt to you. As long as you disassemble all of your weapons.
Well, what about your weapon?
We have a proposition for that as well. Every 4 months, both sides will disassemble 1/3 of our weapons. Therefore, in a year's time, all of our weapons will be gone. At each 4-month period, we will check to make sure that each side is cooperating, and if so, we will continue with the plan.
Ah, yes. Tit for tat. I like this proposition. I think we've made some serious progress today.
I would agree. Do you accept?
I do accept, and I will start disassembling after our first 4-month period.
As will we.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
What the?
I'm sorry. Hello? Yes? Okay. It's the Canadians. They're angry again.
Damn Canadians. Let's just walk.
You know, before you leave, I just wanted to say, I'm a huge fan of China. General Tso's and Chopsticks, Jackie Chan, and everything.
You dishonor your family.
I love Tokyo.
Sir,
Kobayashi.
sir, we really need to work on your international relations.
Yes.
Bonafide hustler, making money.